We have more great baseball for you today. Curry Field in Regina. It's day 2 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. And in our first of 4 matchups that we will bring you, it is the ON2 Etobicoke Rangers, or if you will, Ontario 2, taking on 1-0 Team Saskatchewan, who upset the 2-time defending champions from Quebec 4-3 in their opening game. And their leadoff hitter, once again, is right fielder Tom Hooker. Swings and misses on what looked to be a changeup from 21-year-old Max Gentile, who gets the ball for the storied Etobicoke Rangers. And I mean it when I say that. They have a great history. This will test Ferracuti, not quite in time to get Hooker, who's on base, with an infield single.
See a little chopper just over the head here of pitcher Max Gentile. Ferracuti in to make the play, the good throw, but as you see there, just about a step too late, and the leadoff batter for Team Saskatchewan reaches here in the top of the first inning.
Tom drove in one of the 4 Saskatchewan runs yesterday and has had a tremendous season with the Marysburg Royals, where he hit .463. This is 25-year-old Reginan Peyton Friesen, the shortstop. He's looking for his first hit. He was 0 for 3 in the win over Quebec yesterday. And 2-2 on the season is the pitcher Gentile. 39 innings, given up 18 runs, struck out 43, and walked 5. And Dan, I'm guessing he was a big part of their success at the elimination tournament.
Yeah, Max had one start at the elimination tournament this year. He threw game number 3, which was against a very tough Tecumseh Thunder team. That ball gets chopped back to Gentile. He's going to throw to second. And again, not in time, as Tom Hooker making his way around the bases pretty quick here as he beats that throw. We're going to have a look at it here now. A couple of high choppers here of see Hooker with a great jump there, and he beats that throw by quite a bit.
When Gentile is at his best, I always like to ask you, what's he doing well?
You know, Max is the type of pitcher. He is a bit of a power pitcher, but mixes speeds extremely well, has good off-speed stuff. And for him, and it's just like any other pitcher, when you get into a rhythm and you're able to, that ball's ripped foul down the left field line, when you're able to kind of find that strike zone, get comfortable with your catcher, and these two have worked together quite a bit this year, himself and Kyle Bowers. So it might take them a little while here. You know, like we said, the weather's a little bit shaky here, but we do see some gray clouds kind of burning off and the blue sky rolling in. So hopefully he's able to settle in and have a good start here today.
Ball and a strike to Josh Claggett, who gets the start behind home plate for Team Saskatchewan. He's 23 years of age, is from Belcaris, plays for the Regina Rockies of the Qu'Appelle Valley League, lifts this to left. And Eric Thrower, back in the same spot that he was in their opening day loss, makes the catch for out number 1.
It's a good job by Gentile there after a couple of kind of tough infield hits, able to get Claggett to lift one to left field. We see Eric Thrower camp under that one. Hooker went back to tag, but kind of just a little bit of a bluff run there, and real good throw into the third baseman, Pitt Murray-Smith.
28-year-old from Saskatoon, Cole Workin, is the designated hitter. He's 0 for 4 in the tournament. Hit a couple of balls hard yesterday in the game against Quebec. Had a great year back in 2021 with the Moose Jaw Millers of the Western Canadian Baseball League. Hit .361, although that is now eons ago in some respects. Also in that same year, he played for 3 different independent baseball teams: Sioux City, Milwaukee, and Fargo-Moorhead. A lot of guys with interesting journeys in this sport. Off the end of the bat and foul from Orkin.
We kind of talked about that at the beginning of the tournament, Peter. You know, you're going to see such a variety of players here, from young kids who are just turning 19, 20, 21 years old to, you know, more veteran players like Cole Workin, who have, you know, had a little bit of a pathway through independent and pro baseball, which is, it's always going to make for great, great baseball here at this tournament.
Well, yesterday was a terrific day. Playable for Ryan Panis. And he is able to deal with the conditions and the wind and haul it in foul territory. So after a start that wasn't exactly in favor of Gentile and the Rangers, 2 important outs.
And not to sound like a broken record, but again, it seems like so far the wind definitely going to play in a factor here as we see that bright ball of fire in the sky start to light up our field here a little bit now. But definitely, wind's going to play a factor in a lot of balls that are up in the air today and blowing very strongly out towards left field, again, going right to left across the field.
At the plate, one of the stars of day one of this senior men's championship, Lucas Geisler, had 3 hits, was not retired, but he's retired to open day number 2 as Panis steps on the bag. And Max Gentile settles in, much to the delight of the Rangers. They will come to bat when we return to Curry Field in Regina on this Friday, the Canadian Senior Men's Championship. Dylan Soley gets the ball. Obviously versatile. He was a key member of their win over Quebec in a different position yesterday. He throws regularly. Dan Esty for the Regina Rockies. And what an opportunity today, really, for this Saskatchewan team. They upend the 2-time champs yesterday, and with another win today, would take a big step towards earning a playoff spot.
Absolutely. Dylan's had a great year with Regina, the Regina Rockies again this year, and always one of the top pitchers in that Qu'Appelle Valley League. But, absolutely, that big win against Quebec yesterday definitely puts a little bit of wind in your sails coming into, their 2 games that they're going to be playing today. And, definitely with a pair of wins will put them in a very, very good spot to be playing either Saturday night or even Sunday.
10 teams participating in this event. 6 teams will earn a berth into the playoffs, 3 from each pool of 5 teams. If you finish atop your group, it's the best it can be because it guarantees you a direct berth into a semifinal game and also a medal game. Alex Thrower, the 30-year-old from Etobicoke, steps in, shows bunt, and takes strike 1 from Dylan Soley. Alex had a good day yesterday. He was 2 for 4 in the 6-2 loss. High fly. And camping under it is Lucas Geisler, who played in left yesterday, moves over. Cade Kindrachuk is in left field today Tom Hooker again remains in right field. Around the diamond, Joel Baumel at third. Peyton Friesen is the shortstop. Devin Farrell at second and Carter Bayham. The battery mate of Dylan Soley is Josh Cleggett. And this is a gentleman Dan's very familiar with, Pip Murray-Smith, the third baseman, playing in place of David Boato, who started there yesterday and was shaken up late in the game. And I wonder if that's a factor in the lineup.
Yeah, for sure. It looked like he came up a little bit lame yesterday. Trying to beat out a play to first looked like his knee might have been in a little bit of pain. But, great to see Pip crack the lineup here. Pip's a pickup for the Etobicoke team from the Arundel Cardinals, who I played with for a number of years. And great to see him getting this opportunity at this level.
Hit .385 for the Cardinals this year, 4 doubles, 3 triples, and 11 runs batted in. Had 5 games, Dan, with 3 or more hits.
Yeah, he's really had a great year at the plate this year, and one of the veteran guys on that Arundel team now that's kind of leading a lot of the younger kids that are on that team now.
Well, Soley working effectively. Breaking ball, knocks it down. Will he make the play? Indeed he does. As Pip Murray-Smith gets down the line quickly. Good recovery by the pitcher.
Good job there as he goes to his left, knocks that ball down. Nice, calm, and composed throw to first and able to get Murray-Smith by about half a step.
First baseman back in the number 3 hole in the lineup is 34-year-old Ryan Panis. 0 for 2 in the game. He was pinch hit for in the late stages of it by Daniel Murphy. Fastball in the outer portion for a strike from Soley, who would appear to have pretty good velocity.
Yeah, Dylan throws mid to high 80s when he's really on his game and locates the ball well, as you see him working in and out. He has that little slider that you just saw there now. A little bit of a changeup that he throws as well. So Etobicoke batters really going to have to be on their toes today.
Well, 2 out for Etobicoke. Here in the bottom of the first, our first of 4 games will bring you, and Panis just got a piece of that. For a mini second, Dan, I thought maybe he had missed it and it had eluded the catcher, but not quite the case. Panis also named to the Etobicoke Rangers All-Decade team back in 2020. This time, frozen. Takes strike 3, and Dylan Soley off to a nice beginning. A 1-2-3 start defensively for Team Saskatchewan. They'll bat when we return to Curry Field in Regina on day 2 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship on IKS. Twenty-year-old Joel Baumel from Lake Lenore, Saskatchewan, hit .333 this year for the Marysburg Royals. And maybe even more important than that number, his 2 for 3 performance and a run batted in, Dan, in the win yesterday over Quebec.
Yeah, he had a great game yesterday. One of those one of those types of games that kind of just, he caught fire and teammates followed, and, like I said, turned out very well for them in the end as they hung on against a very, very good Team Quebec.
A much cooler day to begin. Just as windy, though.
Yeah, that didn't go away.
No, it did go away late last night.
Yes.
Boy, it was just awesome here for the home team, the host Regina Trappers, who won their opening game in a great matchup against Nova Scotia, represented primarily by the Dartmouth Dry, the league leaders in the Nova Scotia Senior Men's League, 7-1. Fabulous pitching performance by Cody Rock. Panis has been busy, and he is again, as Gentile, after giving up a leadoff hit and then an interesting decision that he made trying to make a force play at second, he's retired 4 in a row.
Yeah, it seems to be settling in it a little bit now, and again, had a few nerves in that game at the eliminations as well against Tecumseh, where it took him a little bit to settle in, but certainly has the ability to throw a really good game here today.
Left fielder Cade Kindrachuk making his debut at this championship. Drops down a bunt and a beauty. This'll test Gentile. Kindrachuk thought about going to second and then turned inside, which means you better scramble back before somebody puts the tag on you.
As you see here on the replay, great bunt here as he gets that one right down the third baseline. Gentile able to get there, but you see that throw just a little bit wide, and the savvy veteran Mark Capone in the right position at the right time and able to back that play up to keep Kindrachuk at one base.
And he wastes little time using his speed to steal second. And he did it diving, but no throw from catcher Kyle Bowers, the left-handed catcher, once again behind home plate for Etobicoke.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday in a lot of games. When you get stolen bases, that happens. You put pressure on the defense, and then good things can happen there for sure.
Kobe Kindrachuk with a great bunt and a steal. Plays for the Saskatoon Hoppers of the Saskatoon Senior Men's Baseball League.
Pretty good looking pitch there from Gentile, with that one called a ball.
So Carter Bame, the first baseman, he's new to this Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. Did not participate in the win yesterday over Quebec, and what an important one it was.
And you'll see now throughout these games today, Peter, and we were talking about this before we came on the air, that quite a few teams already have a game in. Some of those teams playing their 2 games in a day today, and you might see a lot of kind of turnover in the lineups, and more so just for the sake of making sure that you keep players fresh, make sure that they're not getting injured and stuff like that. And right now, teams usually come out with their best lineup, they show it off, and then after that start to kind of settle into, the grind that is 6 or 7 games that you could be playing here in 4 days.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a 2-game day for both these teams.
That's correct. Both SAS teams will be on the field for 2 today.
We'll see a lot of Saskatchewan at this park today.
We will for sure.
2 Saskatchewan games and 2 Regina Trapper games, the host team. A breaking ball from Max Gentile that misses away. Kobe Kindrachuk, a great, I have to think that would have been scored a base hit on the bunt.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then a steal very quickly of second. Oh, he might get caught.
Oh, I think he got him.
He did get caught.
Thought he was going to be able to get a little bit of a running lead here. We'll see on the replay coming up from the truck, but nice inside move there by Gentile as absolutely turns around. You see he had a little bit of a running lead there, and Michael Ferracuti, the shortstop, able to get the tag down in plenty of time there to retire the runner at second base.
The little things can really turn into, in every sport, big things. So Saskatchewan's threat eliminated on a smart step off by Gentile. Good cover. Off the glove of Gentile, and this will find its way into the outfield. And Carter Boehm, the first baseman.
And Peter, you just got the words out of your mouth. The small things is, that ball right there is single to center field, and more than likely with Kindris Tuck's speed, that's going to be a run coming across the plate, and now we have a runner at first with 2 outs.
I don't think there's any question about it for those very reasons. Instead, it's a single. His first at-bat is a good one, and Carter finds his way on first base. For second baseman, Devin Farrell. A 25-year-old from Saskatoon, a member of the Saskatoon Outlaws. And a nice block by Kyle Bowers behind home plate to make sure that a runner doesn't advance into scoring position. Devin Farrell, Bismarck State, Rockhurst University, and Briarcliff University in short order in his young playing days.
Just a few schools then.
I'd love to tell you where all those schools are located. I know one is in Bismarck. Took something off. And Gentile, his body language would tell me that he thought it might have ended up in a different result.
You can tell Max is getting a little more comfortable with that slider now. He was kind of struggling with it there in the first inning, but seems to be a little more settled down now.
Ferracuti deep in the hole, and Capone can't hang on. And the inning continues for Team Saskatchewan.
Yeah, tough play there. Ferracuti into the hole, and we see there from the view from center field that just goes off kind of the top part of Capone's glove and squeezes out, and Carter Boehm is safe going into second base. Devin Farrell going to reach on the fielder's choice there.
Tom Hooker already has a hit in the game. He led the game off with a single and looks at a breaking ball for a ball. Tom's off to a nice start in this Canadian Senior Men's Championship. Now 2 for 5 and has a run batted in and a chance in this spot to drive in another. He drove in 15 runs this year for the Marysburg Royals. .463 average. Trying to add to the Saskatchewan lead, and excellent pitch by Gentile that had Hooker out in front.
I know I've had second baseman Curtis Strebe on my podcast a couple of times. He talks very highly of Tom and the efforts he's put in over the years playing with that Marysburg team.
Tom is from Humboldt, Saskatchewan. And fouls this wide of first, sending both runners back.
Impressive here with the Saskatchewan team. They're really making Gentile work a lot so far in these almost 2 innings that we've played so far. Lots of pitches, lots of foul balls.
Ferracuti on the grass makes the play. For a second straight inning, Saskatchewan threatens. They do not score. It remains 0-0 on day 2 in Regina. Etobicoke Rangers batting in the second inning. They're 0-1 after a 6-2 setback yesterday, courtesy of Team New Brunswick, made up primarily of Charlottetown Islanders,
who are in action this morning in our other game that's taking place over at Optimus Park. They are playing Team Quebec, who's currently at 1-1 right now. That game is scoreless as they head to the bottom of the second inning.
Hunter Bisser, the batter, he had an excellent first day here in Regina. 3 for 3 and drove in one of the two Etobicoke runs. The 27-year-old from Etobicoke, Dylan Soley, began on the mound with a 3 for 3 first inning and dealing with a difficult hitter and a tough count for him. 3 balls and no strikes. And walks Bisser on 4 straight pitches.
I would say one of the keys to the game today for Etobicoke, if they're going to leave here with 1 or 2 wins, is they definitely have to try and take advantage of scoring opportunities. And I know in that game yesterday against New Brunswick, they definitely ran into a very hot pitcher in Hayden Dow. Had 3 or 4 chances they could score and just couldn't come up with that big hit. And I think if somebody just gets that one hit for them today, I think it's going to open up the floodgates.
Well, many have stated, long before I was alive, that hitting is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
And it very much is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Generally, long-term phrases that stick happen for a reason. They're true. Michael Ferracuti, the shortstop, the batter, and Cleggett, the catcher, wants to have a word with Dylan Soley, who had such a great first and now is struggling to find the strike zone.
Yeah, just go. This is one of those trips where you just go out, give your guy a second to breathe here, and a little bit of a rough start this innings. It's 6 balls in a row, but give him a second to collect himself and get him right back into the routine he was in here in the first inning as we take a peek at the rest of the Team Saskatchewan bench.
I love what you mentioned earlier too, Dan, just the disparity between young and a little older. I'm never going to say old. If you're still playing in an event like this, you're not old.
No, that's for sure.
I don't care if you're 75. We do have a 48-year-old in the event. Curtis Struby is part of Team Saskatchewan, is 46. And Dylan Soley, who is far younger, has walked Bisser and Ferracuti to open the second and is yet to throw a strike. So on 8 straight pitches. I know you were for a long time. Never understood past the age of 10 why anyone would really want to pitch sometimes. That's when my pitching career came to an end.
It's funny, I started 8 years after yours ended then, because I actually started off as a catcher and an outfielder.
We saw a pickoff that worked for Etobicoke. That one almost ended up in the outfield.
That was very close. Definitely takes a special person to be able to stand out there, and they call it the loneliest spot on the baseball field for a reason.
Well, while we continue to get to know one another, I don't need a lot of reasons or understanding to get the fact that, okay, you pitched. That takes a lot. You're a basketball referee. That takes a lot.
Yeah, it's 2 different skill sets, that's for sure. And, for the basketball referee side of things, one of the things I've learned in the 25 years of doing it is communication is so key with coaches, with players, and just kind of makes your career move a little bit smoother.
And you have to be willing to put up with a lot of things.
No, for sure. For sure.
And not everybody has that makeup.
No.
And that's why I think there's some similarity to being a pitcher, because your ability to shake things off when you know it hasn't gone well, it's a big part of being successful, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we saw that in a couple of games yesterday where pitchers kind of, they could have threw in the towel, and at this level, you keep battling for your teammates because the game's not over until you get that third out in the 7th inning.
Well, Dylan Soley does have a strike against Eric Thrower, who is showing bunt and drops one down, and it's a good one. Well executed sacrifice by Eric Thrower.
Absolutely. Good job there by Eric as he gets that one down just short of the pitcher Dylan Soley. Soley picks it up again, nice and calm and collected, gets that out at first, but you see the Etobicoke bench very happy with that effort from Throwers. He's getting lots of high fives and fist bumps and sets them up for a scoring opportunity here now.
Can absolutely be a lost art in this sport, but it still matters when you have to execute. It can very much be the difference, especially I find, Dan, in big games.
Absolutely. And again, we talked about, that team that scores first, might be 1 run, might be 5 runs, automatically puts pressure on the other team right away, and they makes them have to sharpen up that much more.
Tanner Young-Schultz, great play just to get to the ball by Devin Farrell. It'll score the run, and Etobicoke on a RBI groundout off the bat of Tanner Young-Schultz have a 1-0 advantage. That's some play by Farrell.
Yeah, that took a wicked hop there at the end. I don't know if it hit the lip right on and shot right up in the air, but absolutely great jumping play there to keep it on the infield and keep Etobicoke to 1 run.
So early in the game, Saskatchewan's middle infield was playing back. Is that play illustrated? So they were prepared to give up a run early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now they'd like to limit the damage. And it eats up Bame at first. And it's 2-0 as the catcher, Kyle Bowers, left-handed throwing, right-handed hitting, cashes in.
That's a great piece of hitting there by the veteran Kyle Bowers as he keeps the hands back, drives that ball past Carter Bame at first base, and you see Bowers making his way down to first. Michael Ferracuti makes his way across the plate. We got a 2-0 Team Ontario 2 lead here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
And 42 years young is Mark Capone, another member of the Etobicoke Rangers All-Decade team, named in 2020. This is one of those guys that was probably born to play this sport.
Mm-hmm.
In some way, shape, or form. Always worth telling the story that when Joey Votto gets asked about who his favorite player is, it's the guy in the left side of the batter's box on the run, and that would be a reason why. Perfect execution of a hit and run. Capone the big turn. He'll stay, and there's runners at the corners with 2 in and 2 out in the bottom of the 2nd.
And this is just, from knowing these guys, this is classic Mark Capone. Hands back, drives the ball to the left side of the field, and, I call it his office. He's had, I don't know how many hits in his career that have gone to the left side of the field, and just does a great job of controlling the bat at the plate as we see him talking to Bill Bounce Thompson there at first base.
So the 42-year-old has his 2nd hit of this Canadian Senior Men's Championship. He was 1 for 3 in the loss to New Brunswick yesterday. And here's center fielder Alex Thrower. And as good a fastball velocity-wise as Dylan Soley is thrown in the game.
Last thing I'll touch on with Capone, even with the loss yesterday, I've never seen him happier that, I know Etobicoke usually travels well to come to these tournaments, but very happy to see that his brother was able to make it here to see him play in this tournament as he had his flights canceled a couple of days ago. And great to see him and Anthony having breakfast this morning at the hotel, sat down with him for a bit, and that's awesome stuff.
It's fabulous. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I would guess at 42, the older you get and you can still do it at this level, you're even more appreciative.
Absolutely. And I mean, we talked about it off the top of the tournament. You know, this is the first time since 2004 that Etobicoke has attended a national tournament, and that 2005 year was Mark's first year in senior ball, and the fact that he gets to finally play in this tournament now and have some family here is just amazing stuff.
I love it. So what sports is all about. It's best form.
Absolutely.
Thrower stays alive. One of the two thrower brothers on the team, Alex and Eric. Hard to say that someone would be an elder statesman at 30, but he is of the brothers. Eric is 27. And Mark Capone needs to tie his right spike up. It's now Dylan Soley. Takes care of his own little uniform issue. His team Saskatchewan trailing 2-0. They're 1-0. Etobicoke is 0-1, and that was pretty close over there.
Yeah, I had Capone lean in a little bit, but was able to push off and get back in time there just safely under the tag.
See if he's on the move here with a 1-2 count. Isn't. Farrell, another test, and made a really strong throw on the run. So the Saskatchewan second baseman with a couple of good plays in the inning. However, the Etobicoke Rangers, in search of their first win here in Regina, off to a 2-0 lead through 2. On so many occasions in sports, it can be all about what you do when you have opportunities and what you don't do. And we've seen plenty of that through the first day and now just a little bit into day 2. Even in this game, Saskatchewan has left 4 runners on base. Etobicoke, who yesterday left 6 or 7 runners on base in their 6-2 loss to New Brunswick, they have cashed in today, and Gentile will handle that play to retire shortstop Peyton Friesen for out number 1.
And that's a great point, Peter. I mean, looking at opportunities to score, and you don't get many of them at this tournament. When you do get runners in scoring position, especially with less than 2 outs, you know, you want to take advantage of those opportunities as much as you can. And, you know, the teams that usually end up on the scoreboard winning games are the teams that do take advantage of those opportunities.
And Saskatchewan did that and did it early in the 4-3 upset win over Quebec yesterday, and then held on, received a terrific pitching performance from left-hander Rhett Fazer. This is 23-year-old Josh Cleggett. Saw him take his mask off, and he looks like he's 12. He's a very young-looking 23, or maybe he's not. It just might have something to do with the play-by-play announcer's age. Who is not 23 or 12. He's from Belcaris. on one big hop. 2 away. Good throw across the diamond by Pip Murray-Smith.
Yeah, great play there by Pip, able to sit back on that one, get it on a big hop. And then a good strong throw to Ryan Panis over here at first, as we're going to see on the replay. Field's played pretty well so far this week. Nice and smooth, and really appreciative of the crew here at Curry Field as well as Optimist Park for all the work they've put into these diamonds. They are in fantastic shape.
Yeah, they really are. Like any field that's been around for a long, long time, there's some quirks.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a few of those.
Yep.
And I can speak to it because this isn't my first time at Curry Field.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, and I applaud them greatly. And, you know, where would we be without all the great sponsorship, all the volunteer hours, the effort? It really is sometimes for me borderline amazing what has to go into this. As a base hit off the bat of Cole Workin, the designated hitter finds himself on board with a 2-out single.
Good swing there by Cole Workin as we get a look at that on the replay. Hands back, just drives it just to the right of second base and into center field for a hit. But I totally agree, Peter. Like watching the host committee run around here last night, they had concession stands, they had 50-50, they had everything going on, and just such a wonderful team of people that we've got to meet here this week.
Yeah, it's been very, very well run, and I'd use one word: professional.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it shows everywhere, and everybody feels it that's involved too, by the way.
Absolutely.
Max Gentile dealing with Lucas Geisler, who was 3 for 3 yesterday and 0 for 2 to begin day 2. So Gentile has found a way to shut the door in this 1 through 3 innings when he's needed to the most. And Etobicoke in front in search of their first win at the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championships. Seven-year-old Aaron Dale Cardinal, third baseman Pip Murray-Smith. Wonder what it says on the passport.
I believe it's Philip. I think
was going to say,
Philip's the first name.
Guarantee you it's not Pip.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say guarantee. That would suggest that I know, and I don't know. But I can guess. And a nice cut by Pip Murray-Smith, who grounded back to pitcher Dylan Soley. Etobicoke scores twice in the second. They're 0-1. Team Saskatchewan 1-0. All 10 teams in the event will play 4 round-robin games prior to the start of the playoffs.
Speaking of some of those other teams, we do have an update from Optimist Park. Between the game over there with Team Quebec and Team New Brunswick, they are currently through 2.5 innings of play there. That game still scoreless. Team New Brunswick 1-0 so far at this year's event. Team Quebec enters today with a 1-1 record.
That's what I like about today. Today's kind of moving day, if you will.
Absolutely.
I know that's a golf term, but it applies to any round-robin type tournament, and there's a lot of teams playing 2 games today, too. So we'll have a much better idea going into Saturday, which I learned very late last night, tidying things up after day 1, that it begins even earlier tomorrow.
Yeah, you got to get out of bed a little bit earlier tomorrow.
1 out. And the batter is Ryan Panis, who struck out.
Sorry, I lost in that little tangent there. A good pitch by Dylan Soley to get Pip Murray-Smith in that first at bat.
Well, I started the tangent, so you can blame it right
Oh,
where
that's
it belongs.
all good. It's all good. I love this. Love the stories. Love the stories.
Just means you're old and have done 1 or 2 things of any significance. Not sure, but certainly tried hard. Ryan Panis has had a very good season back home. Batted .279 for the Rangers. 5 doubles, 2 homers, 24 runs batted in. Farrell, who's been sharp at second. Little help from Boehm on a low throw. And quickly there are 2 away.
Good play there by Farrell at second base. We'll see here on the replay. Good swing by Panis. Pounds that one into the ground, though. A little bit of a shift to his right. Good throw there. And like we said, always good. Someone has your back. Good pickup there by Boehm at first. And 2 outs now here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Very early in the tournament. Just day 2 and game 2 for both these teams. But Hunter Bisser, on base percentage so far is perfect.
Yeah, he's certainly seeing it well at the plate right now for sure, and hopefully being able to continue that hot streak here throughout the week.
3 for 3 yesterday with a run batted in, walked and scored in the 2nd inning today. 27 years of age is Hunter. .320 batting average coming in throughout the course of the year. Pretty good website from the league that they participate in.
I hate to break the news to you, but I started that one too.
Stunner. Absolute stunner. Bisser high in the air towards Tom Hooker, who will take 2 or 3 steps in. And yes, anything that might look routine, thanks to the wind, is not. Despite the fact that Tom made it look somewhat that way. 1, 2, 3 go the Rangers, but they lead it after 3 by 2 on day 2 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. Team Saskatchewan trails by 2 runs as we're about to begin the 4th inning, 7-inning games, the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. Team Saskatchewan has left 5 runners on base in 3 innings.
Yeah, Max Zentiel certainly doing his thing so far today. 3 innings pitched. He's only allowed 4 hits over those 3 innings and yet to allow a run to cross the plate. So he'll look to continue that here as he delivers his first pitch of the fourth inning.
Dealing with Joel Baumel, who grounded back to the pitcher earlier in the game. Not sure if that was a changeup.
Yeah,
it didn't look like it had, any kind of curve motion from right to left.
Mm-hmm. Max has a couple of off-speed pitches he throws, and again, like any of the pitchers we've seen this weekend that have shown some success, will change speeds on those off-speed pitches as well, which is, you always want to be messing with batters' timings at all times.
That one certainly had some breaking motion. Ferracuti gave it everything he could not get to it, and Joel Baumel has another hit here in Regina, a leadoff single.
Yeah, good two-strike approach there for Baumel as another off-speed pitch there from Gentile. Just gets the end of the bat on it, and like we see, just out of the reach of shortstop Michael Ferracuti, and Joel Baumel going to make his way to first as the leadoff hit here in the top of the fourth.
Joel now 3 for 5 in his first couple of games in Regina. And the batter is Kobe Kindrachuk, who laid down a brilliant bunt base hit, stole a base, and then got picked off at second.
Yeah, we talk about those, things you do well, things you need to make sure you don't do, and, you get into scoring position, and in that case there was less than 2 outs, and, you want to make sure that you don't take any unnecessary chances there to give your teammates a chance to drive you in.
Kobe, a 29-year-old from Saskatoon, hit .302 this year for the Saskatoon Hoppers. And there is an excellent slider, swung on and missed, from 21-year-old Max Gentile, who this year at Laurier University was the baseball team MVP.
Mm-hmm. Laurier has, for a number of years, produced quite a few great baseball players. As Kindrachuk's going to drive that one up the middle for his second hit of the game.
Kobe 2 for 2 in his first start and 2 at-bats. Kobe had 5 multi-hit games this year for the Saskatoon Hoppers and is a multi-hit game here at the Canadian Senior Men's Championship. So here looks to be another opportunity for Team Saskatchewan. And on the topic of good players that are Saskatoon Hoppers, Carter Boehm led them this year in hitting .478.
Yeah, Boehm having a pretty good year here in Saskatchewan and hoping to carry that over to some success here at the National Championships.
Shows bunt again. Panis way in at first. Gets the job done. We saw the Rangers in a similar situation. Eric Throworth laid down a good bunt to move runners to second and third, and that's exactly what Carter Boehm has just delivered for Team Saskatchewan.
Absolutely good at bat there by Carter to get both runners over into scoring position now, and now it's up to Devin Farrell and then top of the order to see if they can cash something in here and get Saskatchewan on the board.
Well, Devin has been very good at second base. He made 2 or 3 fine plays.
And as we saw in the last inning when Etobicoke was had runners in scoring position, the defense here for Etobicoke staying back, they're going to give up the run.
The runner actually hesitated. Baumel did a little bit, but there's good solid piece of hitting, driving the ball in the opposite direction. And Team Saskatchewan is on the board thanks to Devin Farrell's RBI groundout.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there. And when you do get those runners over, with the bunt, you usually are burning it out. You want to make sure you get something in play there. And great job by Devin Farrell as he's able to get that ball on the ground to second base. And even with the late jump, still get the run across here to cut into the Ontario lead now 2-1.
top of the order, and Tom Hooker, who's 1 for 2 in the game, singled in the first and then popped out to Michael Ferracuti at shortstop in the second.
I will say there's a couple of players I see with pants up from Saskatchewan. I love those socks. The green, yellow.
You dig it.
They're great. Just saw that come up on our monitor now. Yeah, there they are right there. Those are excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, to my right, Freddie Fashion. Tom Hooker has just tied the game. Solid liner up the middle, and he has his second hit of the day, and he's cashed in another run. We're tied at 2.
Good piece of hitting there by Hooker as he keeps the hands back on that off-speed pitch, drives it into center field. And again, we talk about scoring opportunities, and so far we've 2 for 2 now with Etobicoke getting their chance and potting 2 runs, and now Saskatchewan bouncing right back with 2 of their own after a great bunt by Carter Bame.
Which reminds me, before the weekend is over, we're going to have a chat about bunting, analytics, because I'm always incredibly curious, and I think listeners are too, to get a feel for the ever-changing world that is baseball and sports. Forget about baseball. Gentile will retire. Peyton Friesen to end the inning. Saskatchewan, in this inning, takes advantage of the opportunity. They've tied the game at 2, on day 2, at Curry Field in Regina, on IKS. Dylan Soley back on the hill. This time he finds himself in a 2-2 tie. His teammates provided a couple of runs in the top half of the fourth. And without great guidance, wonderful parenting, good things are not exactly built properly. And we have a lot of excellent viewers out there, but none more important on this day than Dan's mom, who I think it's a special day for her, isn't it?
Absolutely. My mother's birthday, who's watching back in Fredericton, New Brunswick right now. So, Mom, if you're on this game, happy birthday. And really hope you enjoy your day.
And has spent a lot of time herself in sports.
Yeah, no, you know what? We talked about time management and stuff like that, not everything that I do. And, you know, I've been lucky enough to have 2 parents that have shown me the way with all the things that they do, the time they volunteer and stuff like that. So obviously greatly appreciative of that.
Well, I echo those happy birthday sentiments. And at one point, she said yesterday, she thought maybe that I had a sense of humor. So I'm always very appreciative of that. There might be a few other adjectives I'd prefer ahead of that, but I'll start with that.
Perfect.
And I think you have delivered the world a pretty awesome person. So thank you for that. and your son, who it's been a pleasure getting to know him the last number of weeks. In a 2-2 tie, in a game that's probably a tad more important for one team than the other, and a base hit from shortstop Michael Ferracuti.
Now, I don't want to say I predicted that, but I made a mistake last inning and put the first single of the inning in the wrong box. So I think he's just making it that it's all good now.
I like it when somebody keeps a potentially messy scorebook cleaner.
Thank you, Michael.
Way to go, Michael. It was all Dan. The 34-year-old has his second hit, and Eric Thrower, who's already laid down a sacrifice bunt. That one almost caught him. Never fun when it sails towards your teeth. He had to get out of the road in a hurry, and you're always asked to bunt strikes.
Mm-hmm. More and more, though, when you see pitchers in those situations now will throw inside because that is a very tough pitch to bunt. So you'll see them, I'm not condoning throwing at the batter, but they always try and get it to that inside corner because it's harder. In most cases, you usually pop that pitch up as well.
That's ideally what you'd like the opponent to do when they attempt to sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
See if it's still on in this spot. Soli's going to throw over to keep Ferracuti a little closer. In a 2-2 tie, the Etobicoke Rangers trying to put a 1 in the win column. Saskatchewan already there after their upset triumph in the opening game yesterday, 4-3 triumph over Quebec, who are trailing right now in their game.
Yes, we just got a quick update from Optimus right now. They're just starting the bottom of the fourth with Team New Brunswick coming to bat, and they have grabbed an early 2-0 lead over Team Quebec on a triple from Max Grant as well as a hit from Nick McPhail. So early 2-0 lead there for Team New Brunswick over Team Quebec.
Grant's an impressive player, just 23 if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He had a bomb yesterday, a 2-run homer onto the hill in right field, and another base hit for Etobicoke. Eric Thrower has his second hit of the competition.
Very impressive collegiate career for Max Grant. Played 3 years at Canisius. Used the transfer portal for his last year and played at the University of Alabama, but had a great time down there. Played very well and obviously has his talents back home now and certainly putting them to use right now for Team New Brunswick.
That's a good path. You have to be a very good player to play in the SEC in baseball.
Absolutely.
Yes, I know it's predominantly known for maybe a couple of other sports, one being football, which is the ringleader, but that's a very good baseball conference as well.
Absolutely.
Have you ever attended a college men's World Series?
Ooh, haven't attended one of those. I've gone to a couple of college football games in Ohio, the Ohio State team, but outside of that, no, I haven't seen an NCAA baseball game yet.
Well, I've seen several, and I've been to 2 NCAA College Men's World Series. And a double play attempt. Tanner Young-Schultz keeps his team out of one. Pretty good protection slide by Thrower. And it was a good turn to try to make it 2.
Devin Farrell there, good play. That little backhand shovel to shortstop. The throw there from Friesen just a little bit late. As good hustle out of the box there by Tanner Young-Schultz. He's able to beat the throw to first. And here we go with one of these scoring opportunities again. Runners at the corners, less than 2 outs, and one of the men responsible for one of the runs today, Kyle Bauer, steps in now.
Yeah, he had a ball that ate up first baseman Carter Bame. He went to his knees. Just never had a good feel for the baseball off the bat, talking about Bame. And Jordan Fry up and throwing for Team Saskatchewan, the left-hander. Runner on the move, hit and run. Perfectly executed by catcher Kyle Bowers, who's just driven in his second run of the day.
And that's about as pitcher perfect as you can get right there for a hit and run. We'll see coming up here in the replay. Runner takes off to second base, shortstop on the move, and Bowers pretty much puts it right where he was into right center field there. That little bit of a bobble, just enough to let Tanner Young-Schultz get to third base, and runner's still at the corners here, and Team Ontario 2 has reclaimed the lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the fourth.
And a visit to the mound for Dylan Soley, who's had an interesting morning. 1 inning, 1-2-3. Then he gave up a couple of runs, came back in the third with a 1-2-3, and now has given up 3 hits and a run, including the RBI single off the bat of catcher Kyle Bowers, who's driven in a pair. As Etobicoke back in front again by a run, and runners at the corners with only 1 out. And I would guess that visit, as much as it's about dealing with Dylan, it's also about allowing the guy in the pen to have a little more time.
For sure, you know, I want to give, as we said, lefty Jordan Fry down there warming up right now, and definitely give him some time to be able to get a few more throws in here, get loose. And, you know, I definitely don't want a game like this to kind of spiral out of hand, and want to keep a close eye on things here to make sure that he's ready to go, as there's quite a few lefties coming up here for Etobicoke.
Solely, pick-off attempt on Bowers, and that was a brilliantly executed hit and run. We've seen 2 or 3 of those in the first 2 days.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's one of those things when it works, it looks great. When it doesn't, you know, usually goes back to the coach. But yeah, one of those plays for sure that when it works out, it's excellent. And when I say a few lefties coming up, there's only about 5 in a row, so
that's a few.
We may see Mr. Frey sooner than later.
Inside fastball, and no chance to get the base running catcher that is Kyle Bowers.
Good job by Bowers there. A little bit of a delayed steal by him there. So now that the double play is out of order, we're going to see the infield creep in now, as they're going to have to try and cut down the run at the plate. We get a look at that stolen base there from Bowers from the replay deck.
Mark Capone has a base hit and a run batted in his own right today, as he went the other way, hit it past third baseman Joel Baumel over at third. And the wind is blowing hard again today.
Yeah, stretching those flags out in right center field.
Yeah, headed in the same direction by the look of the flags as it was 1 day ago.
Yeah, it's amazing what a couple of days will do. Like we said, a Wednesday home run derby where you were lucky to get the ball into left field, and yesterday I think we had 3 or 4 home runs in the games that we called here, and no doubters, not just home runs.
And outfielders that had migraine headaches trying to deal with fly balls. Capone with a fly ball that's going to score a run, or maybe more. That falls into a gap. The base runners had to wait, and the 42-year-old Capone has a double, another run batted in, and Etobicoke strikes right back with 2 of their own, and they're still very much in business.
Been vintage Mark Capone day here at Curry Field. Second hit of the day, where it just keeps the hands back and finds that left center field gap for his second hit of the day. First double of the tournament. And certainly a veteran guy here who's leading the team right now and trying to get everyone on board with the charge here.
And as Dan mentioned, he's waited a long time to be an Etobicoke Ranger at a Canadian Senior Men's Championship. But that time has come, and he's making the most of it.
Absolutely.
He's now 3 for 5 with a double and 2 runs batted in the event. Thrower hit it hard, and it will fall in front of Geisler. And it's 5-2 for the Etobicoke Rangers.
I'd have to think that's probably going to be it for Dylan Soley here.
As Alex Thrower drills it, and that is going to do it. And Dylan Soley, handshake, hands over the ball, and gets a nice round of applause from the Saskatchewan fans who are in attendance.
So a good day for Dylan Soley. Ran into a little bit of problems here, but we get a look here now at his strikeouts that he did collect today. Had some really good off-speed stuff going early, and said unfortunately just ran into a little bit of a wall here in the bottom of the 4th inning, as Etobicoke's put up 3 runs here so far and have runners on the corners with 1 out.
Well, the odd innings were great. They were 1, 2, 3, first and third. It's the second and the fourth where Etobicoke has done their damage, and it brings in the left-hander. Jordan Fry, one of 2 Fries on the team. This is the 25-year-old, a Saskatoon outlaw in the Saskatoon Senior Men's League, where this year 3-0, 20 innings, 18 strikeouts, 7 walks, through a complete 7-inning game in a win over the Saskatoon River Pirates on July the 16th, one of his best outings of the year. Now called on in relief to limit any more damage. Still runners at the corners with only 1 out and 3 runs in this bottom of the 4th, as Etobicoke has gone in front by 3. Pip Murray-Smith. Dan mentioned the long list of consecutive lefties, and the 37-year-old third baseman is one of them. In the air, this is going to be a long run for Kindrachuk, and even with his great speed, he's unable to get to it in foul ground.
I was just going to say, I just noticed that Ryan Panis was due up next, and I hadn't seen him come out yet, but I just saw Daniel Murphy walk out of the dugout and start swinging a bat, so it does look like Murph's going to hit for Panis here after.
Jordan Fry has an officiating bug, just like Dan Esty. He's a hockey referee, does a lot of work in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League.
Very nice.
Clark Monroe is not just a pretty face in there.
He's keeping us on our toes, that's for sure.
He is. Fouled back on a chilly Friday morning in Regina. Feels like fall.
Just a quick update here while we have some airtime over at Optimus Park. 4 innings in the books, 3-0 Team New Brunswick leads Team Quebec in that one, as Team New Brunswick adds another one in the bottom of the 4th inning on a sac fly from Cole McLaren.
Trying to hand the 2-time defending champions a second round robin loss.
Yeah, that's definitely puts you in a tough spot for sure with 2 losses. You're definitely looking at tiebreakers and stuff like that at that point. So, as we said, this Friday's usually a moving day here, where we see kind of, once we get to Saturday, who has to beat who and who has to win what, and set everyone up for the playoffs in the more importantly, the quarterfinal matchups that will be happening on Saturday evening.
I think there's going to be a little math required before this event is all said and done.
I think so.
I don't like that, but I never like it when a team is eliminated by math.
Yeah.
In any format you can potentially prevent that, it's great if you can.
It's tough, and I mean when you get those three-way ties, that's when it's really tough because you look at the defensive runs per inning and all that stuff. But absolutely, it's one of those things that's very hard.
So Jordan Fry comes into the game for Dylan Soley and walks Pip Murray-Smith, and the bases are full. For pinch hitter Daniel Murphy, came into the game in a pinch hitting role yesterday and delivered a base hit. He was also part of a running play that he might want to have back.
Yeah, a little bit of a, they had a little bit of a roll going against Team New Brunswick in one of their innings yesterday, and just a small brain fart. That's all it was, and kind of ended an inning prematurely. But the veteran guy that Murph is, I know he's back and ready to go today, and going to help this team win for sure.
We've all done it.
Absolutely.
We have all done it. A lot of off speed from Jordan Fry to begin, the 25-year-old lefty. Dealing with right-handed hitting, 35-year-old Daniel Murphy, 329 on the season, heading to the Canadian Senior Men's Championship. He's had 9 multi-hit games this year. His last one, by my research, came at the Ontario Elimination Tournament when he went 2 for 5 with a run batted in against the Sarnia Brigade. Dan was there, called it all, so he could probably potentially confirm that.
I would say that's verified. Sarnia Brigade, another great team that's been to this tournament before, all the way back in 2019 when they went to the Miramichi.
Which is the site of next year's Canadian Senior Men's Championship.
Always do a great job up there.
Murphy fouls this wide of third. He has a chance to blow it open with his team leading by 3 in the bottom of the 4th. In search of their first win, they're 0-1. Saskatchewan 1-0. And a bounder past Baumel. It'll score 1. Kindrachuk comes home a little offline. Daniel Murphy, who had 1 multi-RBI game this year, it came July 23rd at Milton, has his most important one of the season. It comes at the Canadian Senior Men's Championship, and it makes it 7-2.
Yeah, good AB there by Murph. Finally found a pitch that he could handle and drives that one into left field. And with all the speed that were on the bases there, Mark Capone able to score easily there. Alex thrower follows him to the dish, and 2 more runs here now for the Etobicoke Rangers has kind of broken this one open a bit now with a 7-2 lead.
And good base running, Pip Murray-Smith, and then Murphy followed it up. So you talk about a tough time on the base pass. That's a really heads-up play by Murphy that time to move into scoring position when he saw that the throw was not going to be cut and would allow him to do so. So a 5 spot for Etobicoke as they have blown it open.
And it was only a matter of time for this Etobicoke team. They are a very good hitting team, and just ran into a hot pitcher yesterday, but it's hard to keep a team like this down 2 days in a row, and they're absolutely showing why here now.
Shortstop freezing way in, and talk about a ball that you had to stay with. Uncomfortable, but delivered and out. Let's just put it that way to get Hunter Bisser.
That's a tough play, one of those in-between hops, but does a good job of using his body to keep it in front. Takes a quick peek at the runner at third, looks him back, throws on to first, and Hunter Bisser retired at first for the second out of the inning.
Well, Etobicoke is batted around in the fourth. Ferracuti started the 5-run inning with a single that was already in Dan Estey's scorebook before it even occurred.
Foreshadowing.
Ferracuti drives it to center. Geisler finally ends the inning for Saskatchewan. The Etobicoke Rangers with an inning to remember in Regina. They cross home plate 5 times and are very much in command, leading 7-2.
Hey guys, Donnie with Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing Solutions. Really excited to throw this video that we have partnered with the National Baseball Championships that are hosted in Regina. As you know, we love getting behind our community and supporting these kind of events. This is just an absolute honor to be a part of this championship.
Stop in at 1425 McIntyre Street in Regina. We will have sales on all weekend. I will also be kicking around at the event for a few days, so if you have any questions about team, corporate gear, pull me aside and let's have a chat.
Games going on, including a very important one in this pool over at Optimist, and the game is changing.
Yeah, quick update from there. After being down 3-0, Team Quebec has answered back now as they still bat in the top of the 5th inning. You got a single and a double they've used there, as well as an RBI ground out, and the score there now is Team New Brunswick 3, Team Quebec 2. So we'll keep tabs on that game for you. If you're here on the broadcast, you can also catch that game on the live stream over at Optimist. No sound, no commentary, but you still have a set of eyes over there if you want to go watch there as well.
Quebec's 1-1, the 2-time reigning champions. New Brunswick 1-0 after their 6-2 victory over Etobicoke yesterday. Pip Murray-Smith ranging and threw it away. His catcher Josh Claggett a little closer than I think he anticipated, and he has great speed.
Yeah, tough play there. That's a pretty routine ground ball by Claggett to third base, and we see Pip Murray-Smith comes around that one, just kind of airmails the throw to first. No hesitation by Claggett there as he makes his way right to second, and absolutely that throw kind of on the money and gets the tag down, but not enough time to retire him. So early runner in scoring position here for Team Saskatchewan as they try and chip away at this 7-2 Ontario lead.
Did you see how well the catcher got down the line and the coverage? It was his throw. Kyle Bowers that nearly nailed the opposing catcher trying to go to second. I love to see this game played the right way.
Yeah, and Bowers has always been he's always had a great hustle component on the field, very high baseball IQ, and definitely keeps himself always engaged in the game for sure.
Well, ran more than 90 feet down the line to cover. Not a lot of catchers would go there.
No, and it's the small things like that that matter in games like this too. Doesn't show up in the scorebook, but definitely makes a difference for sure.
Gentile with an excellent breaking ball.
We'll get a look at it here now in the replay. Just a slider, the bottom drops right out of it, and Cole Warkin comes up empty on that swing. He's down on strikes for the first out here in the top of the 5th.
Gentile has not had a lot of strikeouts today. In fact, that might be his first. And now Lucas Geisler in some real difficulty as he tries to reset himself.
Yeah, a little bit of a pitch that ran inside and right off the top of the toe. That one stings. That's a tough spot to get hit right there on the top of the shoe. And Geisler, though, looks like he's okay. He's going to dig back in here.
19-year-old center fielder from Balcarres. 3 for 3 yesterday, looking for his first hit of day number 2. Saskatchewan 1-0, but trailing big, down by 5 runs. Do have a runner in scoring position, and Josh Cleggett, who reached on an error. Geisler out in front. Back-to-back strikeouts for the 21-year-old Gentile.
And this is one of the strengths of Max Gentile's game is, you have that error to start off the inning, get a runner to second base, and then he just buckles down and starts to throw his best pitches. And 2 batters in a row now that he's struck out on that curveball that just dives down and out of the zone and pretty hard to get a bat on.
Well, it's very true. He has yet to have a clean inning, but has, outside of the 4th, found a way to deliver when he's been most required to do so, and hopes to do it again. Now 2 out, facing Joel Baumel, who has a hit and scored a run in the last inning.
And this is again, he did this well at the eliminations tournament. That game against Tecumseh had a couple of tough innings where they were pressing to score runs and was able to find that kind of second gear to batten down and be able to get out of jams when needed.
That was a very important win on the path. That's a good Tecumseh team.
Absolutely. Very strong team this year that was expected to go deep and unfortunately bowed out at 2-2, but again, that's the beauty of that tournament. You just never know what's going to happen every year.
They would have been one of the favorites to make their way to another Canadian, wouldn't they?
Yeah. I mean, they were 5 years in a row that they won between 2014 to 2018 and ended up hosting the event last year, so they were there as well and had a very strong opportunity to get there again this year, and fortunately just fell short.
Tecumseh only lost 1 game at home last year at the Canadian Championship. It came in the semifinal.
Yeah, against a very, very tough Team Quebec. We're down 4-0 going into their last at bat, came back to tie the game up 4-4, and actually had the bases loaded with 1 out and a chance to win in the bottom of the 7th, and unfortunately couldn't push one across, and Quebec ended up winning 5-4 in 9 innings.
Left fielder Kobe Kindrachuk's had a very good day. He's delivered 2 hits and has scored a run. Tried to check his swing. Unable to. And Bowers, very heads up. There's some baseball IQ. Collects it. Little tag.
Absolutely. Umpire took him a second to kind of get around there, as we'll see here on the replay. Kind of took him a second to see that ball bounced and wasn't caught. Definite swing there as he couldn't hold up, and umpire says no catch, but Bowers right away able to apply the tag, and Gentile strikes out the side to get out of a little bit of a jam here in the top of the 5th.
He struck out 3 in the inning. It remains 7-2 at Etobicoke on day 2 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championships in Regina. A 5-run fourth inning has paved the way to a big Etobicoke Ranger advantage in their second game. Second game for both these teams. All teams, 10 involved, playing 4 round robin games. Team Saskatchewan 1-0 coming in, but trail 0-1, Etobicoke 7-2, as they blew the game open with a 5-run fourth inning, and now batting against Jordan Fry, who came on in relief of Dylan Soley in the fourth. And a fastball for a strike. To left fielder Eric Thrower, who is 1 for 1 in the game. Also laid down an important sacrifice bunt that led to a couple of Etobicoke runs to open the scoring in the second.
As Peter alluded to, a couple of tough innings there for Dylan Soley today. His final line, 3 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts.
Eric Thrower, as the fans get an update that we just delivered to you about the game at Optimist, and it's a very important game in this group of 5 teams. The 10 teams split into 2 pools of 5. Top 3 from each advance to the playoffs. Farrell finally came up with it to throw it, but by the time he did, Eric Thrower had beaten it out.
A little bit of a bobble there as the rain starts to fall down here in Regina a little bit now. It's starting to intensify a little more than it was before. A little bit of a bobble on that play and unable to get the ball to first in time, and Thrower going to reach on the error.
And prior to that, Devon's had a very good day at second base. You're going to have a pinch hitter here. Looks like Francis Sketty. And is number 32. Played in the game yesterday against New Brunswick and hits it pretty well, but Geisler takes 2 steps back, and Dan Francischetti retired by Fry for out number 1. Geisler has terrific speed and a good arm. He made a very important throw from left field to double up a Quebec base runner trying to score. And maybe as important a play as there was, Dan, in that entire 4-3 upset win for Saskatchewan over the 2-time reigning champions.
Yeah, for sure. That was a big play at a big point in time in that game, late in the game, 5th inning. You know, great catch by Geisler, and then comes up throwing to the plate and able to cut down another runner at the plate and kind of snuff out a Quebec rally.
So 1 out and 1 on the error. Kyle Bowers has had a fantastic beginning to day 2 prior to striking out. He had 2 hits and 2 runs batted in, but Jordan Fry seems like he's starting to find his way. That's a good breaking ball to get the right-handed hitting Bowers.
First time Bowers has been retired today. Carried a 2-for-2 day into that at bat with a pair of RBIs.
Mark Capone has been a massive contributor. Doubled, singled, driven in 2. And looks at an inside pitch from Fry for a ball. And Dan, you mentioned yesterday of this gentleman's many attributes. You have seen few with a better eye than number 20.
Yeah, Mark is such a student of the game. I mean, he sits and studies pitchers when he's on the bench. And especially at a tournament like this, so important, and especially when you haven't seen some arms. And he'll sit and look at umpire strike zones, and he'll figure out what they are, and then from there, just carries that that momentum into the plate. And
Geisler, strong throwing arm, but sailed it. Good cover by the pitcher, Fry, to prevent a run from scoring. So a stolen base and an error on the throw allows Eric Thrower, one of the two Thrower brothers on this Etobicoke team, to reach third.
yeah, again, speed puts you in situations where you put pressure on the defense, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But in this case here, forces an errant throw into center field, and Thrower able to take third base on that that play, as well as Capone draws the walk here.
So he's been on base all 3 times. He's been in the batter's box. And the other thrower about to hit, he has a single today and a run batted in. Part of the 5-run fourth that Alex contributed to.
I know we kind of complained about the glare coming in here yesterday, but I kind of wouldn't mind that returning right now.
You'd like a little warmth, would you? You're not alone.
I'm okay with the cold, but we're bordering on this is getting annoying now.
Well, one of us has a golf shirt and a jacket. One of us smart enough to have a pullover. In Saskatchewan, we call them hoodies. You don't hear that term very often anywhere else. Or bunny hugs. That's the more Saskatchewan term. See, I've been away for so long now, I can't even remember which term is right.
We'll get Nolan DeZodel on it to get you a hoodie out of the truck down there.
Yeah, about as smart as a sack of wet mice when I came to the park today. 3 balls and a strike to Alex Thrower. That was a great line back in the day from Foghorn Leghorn. Nice boy, about as smart as a sack of wet mice.
Few times we took road trips for baseball. My baseball coach, Greg Cranker, back when Looney Tunes was still on Saturday mornings, always cracked that on. It was his first thing he'd turn on the TV.
Oh, fabulous stuff. They don't make them like they used to.
No.
And as we talk about Foghorn Leghorn and Looney Tunes, you might think that we've gone a little loony up here. We showed you a reliever. Big hop. Ooh, that was very close over there as Peyton Friesen might have gotten some kind assistance.
We're going to have a peek at it right now in our monitors. I see that high chopper comes down and the slide coming in, and ooh, that's close.
Out. Still 7-2 Etobicoke after 5. (7-2), the lead for the Etobicoke Rangers. 6 outs away from evening their round robin record to 1-1. Etobicoke with a 6-2 loss to New Brunswick, made up primarily of Charlottetown Islanders, and we have an update, and things are going well for that group today.
Yeah, just having a look over here at my computer now as we look at play from Optimist Park. After Quebec got 2 back in the 4th inning, the New Brunswick squad has opened it up here, scoring 3 more this inning. Currently have a 6-2 lead over the defending champions from Quebec, so certainly some interesting play over there starting to shape up, and we'll keep an eye on that one for you as we continue our live coverage here from Curry Field.
Quebec, certainly one of the favorites to try to three-peat. In danger of falling to 1-2 in the round robin, losing to Team Saskatchewan. This is a tough play and couldn't quite get there. Was Alex Thrower, and Carter Bame has his second hit in his first game of the competition.
We'll get a look at this one from center field. Kind of looked like it was off the hands of the bat for Bame. Sliding attempt there by Alex Thrower, but unfortunately unable to come up with that one. And lead off man aboard here again for Saskatchewan as we play in the top of the 6th inning here from beautiful Curry Field.
Devin Farrell, second baseman, tried to lay down a bunt for a base hit, not a sacrifice. Trying to bunt his way on. When you're down 5, what do you need? You need base runners. And we know that Farrell has good speed. Gentile misses up.
Looks like we do have a little bit of action rolling here in both bullpens now. Just a couple of players throwing in hoodies down there for Etobicoke, so I don't know if that's necessarily a pitcher getting loose or if it's just a couple of position players that could be coming in. I believe in the Saskatchewan bullpen, it was Nick Anderson that was up and throwing.
Number 9. Still out there. This will find some trees. CIBC has also been sponsoring for me for quite some time. Like another bank, they're richer than we think.
We have a inside peek at the Team Saskatchewan dugout as we talk about our financials.
Yeah, mine are no good. This is good. If you're Team Saskatchewan, it's a liner over the head of Pip Murray-Smith. And Devin Farrell has a base hit. And Saskatchewan puts a couple together to open inning number 6.
You get a look at the swing there from Devin Farrell as he makes his way down to first with his first hit of the day. Currently 1 for 3 now. He did have an RBI ground out earlier in this one, so counts for one of the 2 runs so far for Team Saskatchewan.
Team Saskatchewan with a good batter, and Tom Hooker pulls it down the line. Foul. He has 2 hits already in the game, number 4, and driven in one of the 2 Saskatchewan runs. The fine outfielder of the Marysburg Royals, the 33-year-old from Humboldt.
There you go, Peter. My mom said she'll send you a New Brunswick hoodie.
Very nice.
Keep you warm.
I love New Brunswick. I love the Maritimes. I love Newfoundland. I love Sask. Listen, I love Canada. I could not be more proud to be Canadian.
Absolutely.
And maybe now more than ever. But I'm not going there. Not today or ever.
That's for another live stream.
Yeah, it is. And I am not Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. Hooker. Really good play by Capone to read it off the bat and make sure that it didn't short hop him. as he is able to retire Hooker without number 1.
Again, we talk about high IQ plays and we talk about situations and innings, and when he gets the ball, is there a possibility of a play at second? Maybe. But in that case, smart veteran play there, gets the ball to first, gets an out, and you go and trust your pitcher now that he's going to be able to keep doing what he's been doing all day and try and limit the damage here if he can. And you also have 5 runs to play with, too, which also helps.
Exactly. But between not trying to force something that isn't there, understanding the situation, and even his read of the ground ball off the bat to break on it, that could have easily taken a short hop if he didn't react the way he did.
Absolutely.
Now it's trouble.
We already heard from our Clark in our truck about the Curry Field lip, so that can certainly come into play when you're not expecting it.
Boy, I can't say enough about the volunteers, and again, just having a little fun, but the sponsorship of this event, some great leaders in it, Extreme Hockey, and you take a look at the outfield, all the signage. Boy, they've done a great job.
Absolutely.
And you cannot put on events. Like, we can't bring you these games without wonderful sponsorship. You see right on your screen, Cal Tire, Tourism Saskatchewan, Regina Hotel Association, Sask Lotteries. That's just a small number. Now, those are some of the big contributors, make no bones about it.
Of course, we had our Wednesday night here with the Home Run Derby, and it was Western Cycle Source for Sports that was the sponsor for that, and had a beautiful, beautiful gold-plated bat they gave this year's champion, Griffin Keller, so we appreciate their support as well.
Yeah, we're having a great time. Runners at every bag now as we talk about sponsorship and get back to the game with catcher Josh Cleggett. So here is Saskatchewan's chance, and they probably need 2 or 3 here.
I would say so. This is your opportunity to really get back into it. And
Pip Murray-Smith and able to force Peyton Friesen at second base.
Again, that's a very tough play. It takes a high hop there, and again with the wind, kind of pushes a little bit further than normally going. Good strong throw to second base there by Pip Murray-Smith to Mark Capone, and they're able to retire Friesen there on the force out for the second out of the inning, but still leaves some runners in scoring position and also cashed a run in on that play. So the score now 7-3 for Team Ontario.
If you are a Etobicoke, what was really crucial there is getting it out. And
Absolutely.
Just out was Friesen. Breaking ball to Cole Workin has a hit. He's 1 for 3 in the game. And he wouldn't mind really getting into one here as he grounds it towards the Etobicoke dugout on this chilly Friday morning in Regina. Weather looks like it's going to be really, really good the next 2 days, according to what I've seen. And the 21 or 22, lots of sun, although I haven't looked for a few hours. That's what I saw before I went to bed at whatever time that was.
Yeah, it looks, and it says this afternoon is supposed to warm up a bit as well. This is supposed to kind of burn off a bit, so.
On the move, it gets away, and there comes home the run, and now there is great speed, but also terrific intelligence from Josh Cleggett, who can fly.
Yeah, we watch here. He's on his way to second on the pass ball, or he was on the move on the pitch, and then by the time Bowers gets to the ball, he's already turning, and again, no hesitation. He's had a couple of plays like that today on the overthrow to first, same thing. He just, no thought process, just go and get to second.
And credit Gentile, he's a little upset, but Also happy with a great slider. Working a swing and a miss. Good old guys from Saskatchewan. They don't go away easy. They score 2, but still trail by 3 on day 2 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championships. One 1-0 Saskatchewan, keeping their hopes in this game alive with a couple of runs in the 6th. Now they'll call on 28-year-old Munster product Nick Anderson, hard-throwing right-hander who's also a whale of a hitter. Hit .500 this year for the Marysburg Royals, 27 for 54, and also did some quality work on the mound.
So with Nick coming into the game, that closes the book on Jordan Frey and his relief outing today. 1 2/3 innings. Only allows 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and strikes out 1 to kind of keep the door open here for Team Saskatchewan. So good job by Jordan on the mound today.
Facing the other 9 in the game, Pip Murray-Smith has walked, grounded out, and struck out. Home plate umpire says strike 2. And Anderson doesn't waste any time. Gets it, throws it. Reminds me a little of Cody Rock of the Regina Trappers, who put on a great show last night. Complete game, 7 inning. Win over a very good Nova Scotia team, and Pip Murray-Smith has his first hit in Regina. Past the diving third baseman Joel Baumel.
Yeah, that's a super piece of hitting right there. 2 strikes. You could hear all the way from up here Coach John Ferracuti kind of cheering him on. A good 2-strike hitter, and just a great job there by Pip as he keeps his hands back and hits that into left field for his first hit of the game.
And this is Noah Case. Came into the game to play at first in place of the starter Ryan Panis, who was pinch hit for by Daniel Murphy, but Murphy didn't stay in the game after pinch hitting. Into the hole. Farrell had to go a long way, and then he slipped on the wet grass. And Baumel makes sure that that doesn't completely get away.
That's too bad. That was such a great play. A tough pitch there off the hands of Noah Case. Kind of a little squirter between first and second. Good play there by Devin Farrell to get to that, as we're going to see coming up here in the replay. Great job to get a glove on that. Has a beat on it for sure, and then just his back foot just gives out from underneath him there, and thankfully he's okay and didn't injure himself. But kind of a tough situation here now as we have runners in first and second, nobody out again here for the Rangers in middle of their order coming up.
Hunter Bisser down the line and foul. Hunter, a 3-hit day against New Brunswick, who have more than taken care of business so far as they look to go to 2-0 and hand the two-time defending champions from Quebec a second round-robin loss over at Optimist. Breaking ball from Anderson in for a strike to Bisser, who has walked and scored, flown out and grounded out in the game after his 3-for-3 performance in Game 1. Still no one out here in the bottom of the 6th. Another good breaking ball.
Again, you notice the Etobicoke kind of changing their approach now. 2 strike hitters. They're getting up there, keeping hands back, trying to drive the ball the other way, seeing it deep. And, stuff like that's important, especially in games like this. You can try and continue to move runners around and get them into scoring position. We call that good situational hitting.
Anderson thought he had strike 3. Threw back-to-back breaking balls and then tried to slip the fastball past Bisser.
Pretty good location there, too. Just missed the outside corner. The tough take there for Hunter Bisser.
Right back to the fastball, and Bisser stays alive. 5 runs for Etobicoke in the 5th. Saskatchewan put 2 on the board.
Pitt Murray Smith taking his lead from second. Noah Case, the runner at first here for the Etobicoke Rangers.
Case with his first hit. And Bisser with a good eye, and he did not go around. Regina Trappers will play 2 today. They're in our next game here at Curry Field.
Great minds think alike, Peter. I was just pulling that up.
I would never put yourself in the same category as me. Especially if it involves the word great. I will say that was a pretty good pitch.
Absolutely. Looked like a little bit of a changeup maybe. Something had a little bit of tail on it there at the end, but comes back over the outside corner of the plate for strike 3 looking, and the first out here for Team Ontario in the bottom of the 6th.
So Nick Anderson comes in, gives up a couple of hits, and responds with a strikeout of Bisser, and deals with shortstop Michael Ferracuti. Has a single, he's walked, he's scored, and flown out. Now, from this vantage point, that looks like more of a 12-6 curveball than a slider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little
Would
more.
you agree?
A little more depth on this one instead of side-to-side movement for sure, and obviously a little bit of a different look from the other 2 pitchers that were throwing today for sure.
And yet that one looked more like a slider or a cutter.
Yep. Again, different arm angles, different pitches, and pitchers at this level need to be able to do that stuff if they're going to be successful, just to keep timing down. You don't want batters getting your timing on pitches, and makes it a little bit harder on you.
Friesen shovels for 1. Farrell, the double play. 6-4-3 to end a threat. Saskatchewan with work to do. They trail by 3, heading to the top of the 7th. Etobicoke, the Rangers trying to even the record at 1-1. Saskatchewan had hopes when the day started to win a second consecutive game after upsetting Quebec in their opener yesterday in this very same time slot. Max Gentile remains on the mound, but he has a different set of rules because he's only 21, Dan, than some other pitchers here.
Yeah, so with the pitch count rules with Baseball Canada, they apply it to players that are 22 and under. So in that case, basically there's certain rules to a certain amount of pitches that you can throw, and then you have to take a certain amount of days to rest. So when they're talking about announcing, I think the maximum pitch count is 115 pitches once you get to that point. So Max will pretty much be done for the tournament, as I think it's required 3 or 4 days rest after that.
I think he came into the inning because a gentleman came up here, which alerted me to the ruling. I think he was at potentially 108 when the inning started.
Right. So once they get to 115, they'll announce that. If it happens to be in the middle of an at-bat, they'll be allowed to finish that at-bat, and then they have to be taken out of the game at that point.
The Little League World Series going on right now in Williamsport. Capone to a knee. And able to deliver in time to get Lucas Geisler.
Yeah, Cap having a really good game today. That ball stung pretty hard on the ground. Good speed from Geisler, but Capone down to a couple of knees there. Makes the play. Good strong throw to Noah Case at first, and Geisler retired for the first out here in the top of the 7th.
So this could very well be Max Gentile's last batter, as he delivers a breaking ball in to Joel Baumel, the third baseman for Team Saskatchewan from Lake Lenore. Singled, walked, and grounded back to the pitcher. We've got some awesome umpires in this event. I love watching them work. So into their craft. And where would we be without officials? Pip Murray-Smith, a bit of a late call, but the right one, which is always the most important part. Foul.
Yes, the umpire's been doing an excellent job here so far this week, and you know, when you have some of the best teams that come together from across the country, you also have some of the best umpires that come across, from across the country as well, and they've certainly done a super job here, as well as the supervising team that's been here keeping an eye on them. So kudos to them for a great job so far as well.
Yeah, you have to earn your way here if you're those gentlemen as well.
Yep, absolutely.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Baumel. Strike 3. And as we had mentioned, he's going to get a big round of high fives, low fives, as he has reached the pitch limit. And there's the first handshake.
It's a good handshake there from head coach Naeem Sadiq, as well as catcher Kyle Bowers, and he's going to get a bunch of handshakes from his teammates here as he makes his way into the dugout.
The 21-year-old who is the MVP this year, University Baseball at Laurier with the Golden Hawks. Probably because of pitch count. That's the one time we'll see him, and he has absolutely delivered at a very important time.
Yeah, we'll get a look at a few of his strikeouts here today. Just had everything working today. That slider, bottom just dropping right out of it, and did a great job of keeping batters off balance all day and in and out, and bent a little bit. You know, it's 7-4 game right now, but certainly didn't break and gave his team a great chance to win today. As we look at Mark Risotto, who's going to make his way into this game now and try and close things up here for the Etobicoke Rangers. I have my my sister yelling at me on the phone right now. Apparently my mom is watching the game now, so even though we did this earlier, happy birthday, Mom. I hope you're having a great day back home in Fredericton, and all the best to you on your special day.
Yes, and I completely echo those sentiments. Always have to remember the people who have made a huge difference in our lives. So Risotto comes in. Max Antiel, the 21-year-old, gives way. If you're 22 and under, you have a pitch count rule.
What a day for Max. Like I said, bent, didn't break, goes 6 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs allowed, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 big strikeouts that we just got to look at there from our highlights from our truck. Great guys in the truck. So we thank them for their hard work today as well.
Yeah, they've done such a nice job. Kobe Kinderchuk has a couple of hits as he attempts to keep Saskatchewan alive, and Risotto about to deliver his first pitch, and it's strike one. "25 years of age." The pitcher drops down to the side a little bit, and a look of unhappiness from the batter. Mark 3-1 with a couple of saves this year for the Rangers.
Yeah, Risotto been one of their better relief pitchers this year. Usually see him in a lot of save situations when they do arise for the team, and certainly has some good stuff out there on the mound.
Pitched 3 important innings, I believe, at the elimination tournament in the win over Leaside.
Yes.
Because they beat them in the first go-around and then lost the championship final 12-2.
Mm-hmm.
Capone, isn't it fitting? The 42-year-old who delivered offensively and defensively. And the Etobicoke Rangers are in the win column of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship with a 7-4 win over Saskatchewan. And Team Saskatchewan has the same record at 1-1. We'll see them later at 4 o'clock this afternoon in a even more important game as they try to earn a playoff spot. We'll take a break. Dan will be down at field level to interview a couple of the key members of the Etobicoke Rangers. You're watching the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship from Regina.
All right, we're down here on field level with Team Ontario 2, the Etobicoke Rangers, after a big 7-4 win over Team Saskatchewan. Joining me here, I have starting pitcher Max Zintiel, as well as catcher Kyle Bowers and second baseman Mark Capone. Max, we'll start with you. Big outing on the mound, 6 2/3 innings, gives up 4 runs on 9 hits. Kind of walk me through your mentality of getting ready for this game today and giving a great outing to your team.
Yeah, so obviously showing up to the field, like weather was a big thing. I knew the ball was going to feel dry in my hand because of the wind, sometimes wet. So just making sure that I'm working down the mound, throwing a lot of strikes. That was the most important thing for me. Not trying to do too much, throw too hard, just hitting my spots and getting it done. Yeah.
And obviously from the vantage point that we had behind us, it was a great job of going in and out, and especially using that slider to work on your pitches there, and especially getting your 5 strikeouts that you had today. But flipping over to the defensive and offensive side of things, Kyle, I'll start with you. 2 for 3 at the dish today, a couple of singles, a couple of big RBIs. Just kind of walk me through, being one of the more veteran guys in this team, along with Mark and a few others, kind of what we had to do today in order to get a win here against Saskatchewan.
Well, we know they're going to come. We don't know where they're going to come from. But I love having, we call it dirtbag alley, 7, 8, 9 hitters. And some of the vets are down there, and we know the younger guys up top are going to put the ball in the gaps, and we're going to get. So we just keep that approach, try to move guys, get them in, and it works out.
Absolutely. And I mean, Mark, I was talking to my partner Peter about your game today and the fact that, you know, we talk about your office in left center field and had 2 hits today that pretty much into that space. Just walk me through what that meant to you.
It was a big at bat. It was a good battle with their pitcher. Threw some good changeups low, just stay back, relax. Took some breaths. But Kyle was saying right from the beginning, he's like, I want to see a ball in the gap from you this tournament. So I was happy to deliver. It was a big inning. The guys just kept battling Max. I mean, we owe it all to Max. It was all his game there.
Absolutely. We're going to let these guys sit down and take a break. Final score here from Curry Field this morning: Team Ontario 7, Team Saskatchewan 4. Team Ontario moves to 1-1 in the tournament now. Team Saskatchewan falls to 1-1. Peter, back upstairs to you in the booth.